What's up guys, ThatOneTomahawk here, and welcome back to another episode of the Minecraft Survival Games. Today, we are playing on Drybone Valley, aka Tauren SG numero 2. Actually, one of my most favorite maps ever of all times when it comes to SG maps, mostly because of just how pretty it looks and stuff. In fact, if you guys don't know, it's actually in my YouTube banner. The little, thing right there is actually the cornucopia and just the map and stuff. If you guys look at my YouTube banner, I think it's pretty cool. I don't know, it's pretty cool looking. Also, I just got NCP'd back. Oh no, a little bit of laggy lag. Is anyone chasing me right now? I'm gonna get off to an area where I can double F5 real quick. No one's chasing me. That means very, very goodness. And I could always get to the cow area, which has the double 2 chest very, very quickly. Actually, I think can actually take probably a detour and get the chest that's right over here. This one right... Oh, where is it? There it is. Found it. I was like, is it actually here? Is it gone? I'm not a crazy person. I know there's a chest there. But anyway, guys, so in this video, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a story. So, about, I'd say... I think 2 weeks ago it was, my aunt and uncle who live in Portland, they actually used to live here in California, but I'm digressing. They live in Portland. They came down to visit because I think one of their friends was having a wedding down here, and they got invited to the wedding, and so they decided, they were going to fly down here for the wedding, and then they were also, going to visit the family and stuff like that. They stayed at our house, they went to the wedding and stuff like that, whatever. What ended up happening is one of the nights is that they came over, we wanted to have, a big family dinner, so we decided that we were going to go out to eat. And where did we decide to go out to eat? We decided to go eat sushi, which is arguably, guys, one of my favorite, if not my favorite type of food. Sushi's just amazing, by the way. If you guys are like, not too big fans of it, try like, a bunch of different kinds of sushi. Don't try just the tuna stuff. But anyway, so we go to this place, and I order like some food, and they order food. I think like sushi, when you go as like a social thing, you're pretty much expected to be eating each other's sushi. You don't order food for yourself. You order food for everyone to eat, right? You're like a bunch of people order a bunch of different platters, and you get to try a bunch of different stuff. Or at least that's what usually I do when it comes to these sorts of things. Also, come here. Nope, not that. Plus no double team Reno. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, got him. All right, sick. And so, I had actually never tried tuna, in, like, roll form, so, so my aunt, she decided she was gonna order some tuna rolls so I could try them. So, what it was is it's raw tuna placed over some, like, squished rice together, and then, like, I think there's also some seaweed around it. And usually I'm accustomed to eating, like, salmon and, like, like firecracker rolls and stuff like that, the super white people sushi. And I had never tried raw tuna before, and I've tried cooked tuna before. It wasn't the tastiest thing in the world, but it was edible. So I had no idea what to expect, especially since it came on the same platter as a salmon roll. So like the salmon was orange, and then I think this tuna was like purplish, kind of purplish beige almost in a way. And so I tried the salmon first, and like expecting it to taste really weird because raw food can taste weird. And it tasted amazing. I loved it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. And I took the smallest bite of it, like, I didn't even eat the whole thing, just to make sure I would like it before I ate the entire piece of salmon. I was like, oh man, that tastes awesome. So I ate the rest of it, and the next thing I was going to try, I was going to go for the tuna. I was like, oh man, the salmon was so awesome. I bet the tuna is going to taste amazing. I put it in my mouth, and it is the most disgusting tasting thing I've ever had. I'm gonna tell you guys, I like sushi in general, but for some reason, tuna, guys, it's not my thing. I don't know if you guys have ever had it, but tuna in sushi does not mix very well. It tasted like sewage to me. I don't know why. Just my palate's not prepared for just the taste that is sushi. It's just ugh. Yeah, but at that time, it made me think of, what is the grossest thing that I've ever tasted? And that brings me back to another story. I'm actually going to come back to the story with my aunt and uncle visiting, because I actually have another story of them when they were here. But it brings me back to the grossest thing I've ever tasted in my entire life. And so, back in the day, my dad used to have, when he was, before I was even born, he used to have a job at the Westminster Bowling Alley in California. Westminster Bowling Alley is just the name of the place. And he used to work there for like 3 or 4 years. So like, you know, nowadays if we go over there, we can actually get free bowling because we know the owners and stuff. So that's actually awesome. But there he met one of one of his longtime friends. His name was Yoni. And so occasionally after, you know, we would do whatever in the day, we would go over and visit Yoni's house. It'd probably be maybe a twice a month thing. He lived in like an apartment complex in like a Mexican neighborhood because, you know, I'm Mexican and, you know, stereotypes or something. I don't know. But anyway, so we go over to Yoni's house one time, and I have to go to the restroom. So I go into the restroom, and you know, I do my business, and then I see like that there's a candle on top of the toilet, you know, on top of the little tank that's on top of the back bit, and there's a candle, and it looked like this weird shade of blue, and for some reason it looked like candy to me, and I thought, you know, what if I lick this candle, you know, like what will it taste like, you know, what'll the candle taste like, and so I go ahead and just go, and I lick the candle, and it's just, I don't know what I was expecting to taste, but it was the grossest thing that I have ever tasted in my entire life. In fact, it was so bad that I came screaming out of the bathroom saying, "Oh my god, it's so bad!" And then my dad's like, "What happened?" He's like, and I'm like, I licked the candle. Obviously, after he finishes cracking up, he's like, "Okay, let's get some water in your system, you know, get that taste out of your mouth." So like, I drink like 3 cups of water. I can't get rid of the taste in my mouth, and it's still in there. So like, my dad gets in like some soda, and he like has me drink that too, and I'm like, it's still not out of my mouth. There's still the gross taste of candles in my mouth. And for probably about like 45 minutes, I'd say, I'm not kidding, 45 minutes, I spent trying to get that taste out of my mouth until finally, I guess it just dissipated and went into nothingness. But the moral of that story, guys, is just don't lick candles. And also, if you don't know if you like some sort of food, make sure you take a small sample size of it in your mouth before you eat the whole thing, because that can just mean a whole mess of things. Also, come here, Linda, you're going down. Oh, okay. For a moment there, I actually thought I was going to die. Okay, is there anyone around me? Nope, no one around me here. Is there any usefulness in this pile? There is a flint and steel. I'll take that. Let me just, yep, there's the flint and steel. Boom, boom. And is there a fishing rod? No fishing rod right there. So we're chilling. Netflix and chilling. Okay, so flipping back to the story that I said that I was going to tell you guys about my uncle and aunt when they came to visit, is one night, when they actually came to visit, my mom was out of town half the time they were here. So, you know, just so coincidentally, they were able to use her car because I think she went to like San Francisco with one of her friends just for the weekend, because her friend had booked like a hotel and wanted to go there. And she's like, "Hey, come with me." And she's like, "Oh, okay." So they went to San Francisco, and they just were going to use my mom's car. And they left my mom's car over at their friend's house after the wedding, and I guess they took an Uber or something back to the house. And the next morning, they obviously needed a ride to go get the car. Well, the next morning, my aunt was having a huge hangover, and so it was me and my uncle who were gonna go get the car. So I drove my uncle to the car, and when we get there, I drop him off, and then I start driving away, and then I get a phone call. He's like, "Hey, can you come over here? The battery's dead." And I'm like, no way. He's like, "Yeah, the battery's dead. Come over here." I was like, all right. So I drive back, and we go back, and they live in a gated community. So I have to punch in the code to get into the gated community for a second time. And I drive by, and sure enough, he's like, "Yeah, it doesn't work, try it." And I'm like, okay. And I go to twist the ignition, and you know how sometimes when you have a dead car battery, it'll make a sound, and then it'll go back. It made nothing. I twisted the key, and I pumped the gas a little bit, trying it a couple times, like the brake too, and it didn't make any noise at all. Although when I did put the key in, the lights inside the car did turn on, so that was a good sign that wasn't completely dead. But it was just dunzo. So I didn't have jumper cables in my car, so we have to we went to go to the house of the person that they had gone to the previous day, where they parked the car to go visit, and of course they're not home. So we have to knock on the doors of different neighbors, and it was the third neighbor that finally answered the door. I guess the majority of them already had gone to work or something, and the person who answered it was this shirtless dude who had hair all over his chest, and we're like, "Hey man, do you have jumper cables we could borrow?" He's like, "I think I left them. I lent them to my mother, but I'll go check." Thank goodness the guy has jumper cables, but it was so weird because we had this shirtless dude with hair all over his chest helping us set up jumper cables from my car to my mom's car. And, you know, we set the entire thing up. I turned the ignition on, you know, have my car running for a little bit. We have the jumper cables, and sure enough, we turn it on. The car turns over. It's all good. We let the thing sit for a little while so the battery can charge its way up. And sure enough, we were able to just get away, and that was the end of that. But that actually isn't the last story. I finally thought of another. I thought of another one just now too. I'm throwing stories all over the place like it's nobody's business. I don't even know. But anyway, oh God, no. I meant to do that. Alright, I'm gonna tell this last story. I don't even care. I'm gonna tell the last story. Don't worry. We're using this take. Okay, so actually when I went to Seattle recently with Kevin, and we went to, you know, PAX, and we drove my mom's car all the way up there. We were in Seattle going to get we were getting coffee one morning before we were going to go over to our Airbnb, because we stayed at a hotel one night before our Airbnb was there, which is just like the house we were staying at, you know, Jordan, Kevin, Jasmine, and I. And we go get coffee, and you know, we're sitting there drinking our coffee in the car because we want to get some Starbucks, and we're sitting in the car. The car isn't all the way on, but I just have it so we're just sitting in the car with the music playing, and it goes about for 5 minutes, you know, just chilling, doing it, whatever. And then all of a sudden, the car turns off, and I was like, oh shit, because you know, we hadn't changed the battery since the time that you know, the other time that the battery died, you know, just randomly. You know, it was the same battery, so I was like, okay, it's obviously the battery just went. So I go to check the ignition, and nothing again. So I was like, damn it. I called AAA, and they're like, okay, we can have someone out there in like 2 hours. And I was like, okay, sure. You know, because we had no other solution at that point. And so we were waiting for a little while, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna wait 2 hours. And I go and knock. Well, we didn't knock on the neighbor, since Kevin had his dog with us. There was actually a woman who had walked down the street who actually lived 2 houses down from where we parked. And she, like, you know, came and like talked to the dog, and, you know, was all cute and stuff. And we were like, hey, do you have jumper cables by any chance? And she goes into her car, or not to her car, she goes into her house, and yeah, she comes back in 5 minutes with jumper cables. But in the meantime, I take a look in her garden. She has the craziest stuff growing in there. She had some squash, she had some corn, she had some grain. She had the craziest of crazy gardens. And then Kevin, as like, you know, I'm setting up the jumper cables in the car and stuff like that, he's having a conversation with her, and Kevin's like, oh man, I've wanted to start my own garden too. You know, he's just making some BS conversation, and I knew it too, and I was starting to laugh a little bit, and like, the lady took him completely seriously, and you know, was like giving him like tips and stuff on how to garden. And then sure enough, you know, I get the car working again with the jumper cables. We thank the lady for letting us use our jumper cables, and we go on our way. And yeah, you know, that's the end of my story. But anyway, guys, sorry for like the pretty terrible job I did in this SG game. I managed to completely fall off a cliff like an idiot. Oh my gosh. But either way, guys, I'd like to thank you so much for watching this episode of the SG. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out XDMC if you guys want to play some SG as well. But anyway, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video I see you guys in, and I will see you guys, or no, what are you talking about? And I hope you guys have a nice day, please. Brah!